Hello, everyone. I'm Sharon Chen with KCTV5 News. Welcome into another episode of Destination Heartland, where we go and explore some of the more fun places around the Kansas City metro. So today, again, we're headed west to Manhattan, Kansas. Yep, home of the Wildcats. But there is so much more to Manhattan than just K-State. So for that, I want to go ahead and bring in Marcia Rozell, and Marcia's with the Manhattan Area Chamber of Commerce. Hello, Marcia. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Good afternoon, I should say. It's not morning anymore, but I'm
Yeah.
so glad to chat with you about Manhattan. It's one of my favorite topics.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so we always start out with the history of the town because I find with so many of these towns around the Heartland, there is so much history to each of these towns. So tell us all about Manhattan.
Sure. So Manhattan came into its existence in 1855 when a group of abolitionists came down the Kansas River on the Hartford steamboat. They were actually trying to go to Junction City, the confluence of the two rivers, but they got stuck on a couple sandbars and they ended up here in Manhattan. There was already a group here that had named the town New Boston, and they worked together and said, as long as we can name it Manhattan, we'll stay. And so they did. And so that's how Manhattan came to be Manhattan.
That's so neat. And I mean, I imagine around town there you can still explore some of those historical sites, right?
You can, absolutely. At our Riley County Historical Museum, they still have the Hartford Bell that came off that steamboat. They also have a Hartford Home, which were prefabbed homes that came on that steamboat. So when the settlers came, they could put together housing very quickly. So that those things are here in the community, and you can certainly see them.
And so, when did, which I think is so fun, Manhattan get the name Little Apple? Because that's kind of what Manhattan is known as, is Little Apple.
It is. It is. It was in the 70s when we actually copyrighted the term the Little Apple, and you can't imagine how many phone calls we still get with people thinking they're reaching the Big Apple when they're actually talking to us here in Kansas.
And Kansas, Manhattan, which we talked about, is known as home of K-State. I mean, that's a big part of Manhattan.
Very big part. We're thrilled to have be a college community that has Kansas State University here, and it brings visitors all the time. Not only every school year with new visitors that stay 4 to 5 years, but also with their families that come celebrate with Wildcat Nation. And certainly we've got sports that draw people in. So we're thrilled to be home of Kansas State University. We also have Fort Riley Army Post that's very close by as well.
And so when you talk about K-State, home of the Wildcats, we talk about it all the time here on KCTV5, the football games. I mean, those in
Yes.
itself are an experience. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So this year we're going to get to have 6 home games here at Manhattan. And those home games, they bring in people nights before the game. And so they'll tailgate up around the stadium. We've got, because we're an agricultural school, there's a lot of places that people can park their RVs if they're coming in RVs. We're certainly thrilled when they fill our hotels, but they can come ahead of time and celebrate the Wildcats. We encourage everyone to wear purple when they come because that is definitely something that happens. And then of course the night before the games, the K-State pep band goes around town. You'll find them a lot of times in Aggieville, but they've also spread out in other parts of the community. And I was at a grocery store and they came in cheering on everybody and getting them all excited. So it is an experience to come to Manhattan for football.
Oh, and I think just in general, that energy is electric. I'm sure that the town is completely painted purple when it happens.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Another time to come is when we have the homecoming parade. So homecoming's a big deal here for the students, and we'll have a parade that goes down Main Street. And so it's a fun, festive area to be in when we have home games.
That sounds so much fun. I have to get out there for a home game for sure. And so the other part of the K-State aspect is there's some elements that come with it that are actually quite interesting too.
There are. So on campus, there's the old dairy barn that is now the K-State Gardens, and it's open to the general public. It's free, and you can go there anytime. You feel international when you go there because just across the street is where the international students live in Jardine. But the gardens are amazing. They've expanded them. They you learn so much about plants and the agricultural community. And then along with there at that dairy barn, they've got the Kansas Insect Zoo, which is just kind of this cute little area that you can go in. And one of my favorite things to do is they'll get the leaf cutter ants and they'll put some new leaves in there. And within 20 to 30 minutes, a big plant has been processed and carried out and removed by the leaf cutter ants. So that's kind of one of these cool little places that not very many people get to see and know about unless they're attuned to K-State information.
That is cool. I didn't even know about that. And what I think is
Yeah.
so neat about all these places is for kids, especially, it gives them
Yes.
a good slice of what it's like to have farm life.
Right, exactly. And you can also tour the Kansas State University, the different animal science, dairy, the horse farm. You know, there's different places you can go to see the animals, and certainly all around surrounding the campus is agriculture. So it's definitely prevalent here in our community. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Beach Museum of Art. So that is this amazing museum that's right on the edge of campus. It's got all of the art that is created by Kansas artists, and it's really an amazing place to go in and see just different exhibits that they rotate throughout the year there in the Beach Museum of Art.
Oh, that's fantastic. And let's stick on that theme of exhibits because Manhattan itself has so many different museums that people can go visit when they're there.
Absolutely. We have the new Museum of Art and Light that just opened in November. If you haven't seen it, it is definitely an experience not to miss. It is art with being immersed in that art. And so it's an amazing collection right now through September 4th. We still have Renoir that you can walk through the art and just the movement and the exhilaration of the piece just can move a person. And then September 6th, it's a new exhibit, and so we're getting ready to have Dean Mitchell there, and it's Essence of Time, I believe, is the name of it. So it is going to be incredible.
So many different things to do there. And I'm sure, we talked a lot about the art. So along with the museums comes the galleries too.
Sure, sure. Right here in downtown, we have the SNW Gallery, and they bring in area artists as well. All of them usually are in the Flint Hills, if not Manhattan. But amazing artwork that is here, and it's available to purchase and take home and hang on your wall. So they always have changing exhibits and great, just that love of artists and helping them to develop their craft and allow all of us in the public to come experience them.
And it's neat too because it's local artists. So maybe a lot of the history and the culture of Manhattan is captured in that art too.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It gets pulled into the pieces, and it's a wide range of pieces too. They change exhibits about every month,
Wow.
and so you can see different artists. It's very incredible. It's very inspirational. We also have the Manhattan Arts Center, where that is truly the locals that can produce, create. There's a clay studio and a watercolor studio. You can create your own art, and then they have exhibits there as well as theater productions.
Oh, that's so neat. Do they have any of these creative studios for kids too that they can go kind of do this
They
kind of
do.
thing? They do. Tell us
They
a little bit
do.
about those.
Yeah, so they offer a lot of classes throughout the summertime, and then during the school year, they'll do theater productions just in different random times throughout the year that brings in that kid perspective because we always want to encourage our young ones to get involved in the arts and
Hmm.
to explore and try new things. So they offer classes that are there with the clay studio and the watercolors, and then I believe they still have violin classes that they teach music. So.
Oh, that's so neat. I mean, it's so important to get the arts into our children early on so they can embrace
They
that
can
part
embrace.
of culture.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, the other thing that I want to talk about that I didn't know is that Manhattan has a zoo.
We do. We have the Sunset Zoo. It's has over 150 animals in it, and we just are celebrating a 1-year-old birthday of our two tiger cubs that are so incredibly playful, and it's fun to just go to the zoo and spend the time to watch them and see how they interact in their environment. We have a gorgeous zoo. They've been very intentional with the enclosures that they create, and not only are there tigers and sloth bears, but we also have the gibbons monkeys, where the gibbons do this a thing called brachiation, where they swing from branch to branch. And so their enclosure was built specifically so that they can do that. And boy, they're a lot of fun to watch.
And are there large animals there too at the zoo?
So we have our tigers. We also have a cheetah. We have a Maine wolf. So those are our large animals.
Oh, that is awesome. And does the zoo have events throughout the year? Like here in Kansas City, I think they have Boo at the zoo, that kind of thing.
We do. We have Spooktacular that happens at the zoo. We also have Wine in the Wild and Brew at the zoo. So those are annual events that if you want tickets for, you got to know when they happen because they sell out quickly.
Lots of things to do there for sure in Manhattan. But right now, Marcia, we want to just take a quick little break and then we'll come back because we have so much more to talk about. Fun things to do in Manhattan. So we'll be right back. Welcome back to Destination Heartland. Today we are exploring Manhattan, Kansas, and boy, I got to tell you, there is so much happening there. So right now I want to go ahead and bring back in Marcia Rozell. Hi, Marcia. Good to have you back with us again. All right, so before we went to break, we were talking about your fabulous zoo in Manhattan, but now I want to dig into a little bit of the downtown because there's so much there as well.
We have a gorgeous historic downtown that has been revitalized and has so much going on. So it is anchored by our Manhattan Town Center Mall. And there's some great shopping that's along Points Avenue, which is our main street. We've got a couple of places that you can find gifts and clothing and furniture and just things for your home. And it's wonderful to walk along uh, downtown and Points Avenue and just explore. And there's also a lot of great places to eat as well.
And so we talk about downtown. Are there any historic buildings like historic hotels there that people can explore?
There is. There's the Wareham Hotel that right now it's not a hotel for the public. It's an apartment complex for people. But we also have the Wareham Opera House, which has been purchased and it's become Wareham Hall. It's going to undergo a multi-million dollar renovation. So stay tuned when it opens in late 2026 because it's going to be spectacular for performances and music and just a gathering place for the community.
Yeah, so much to do there. And, you spoke a little bit about, the dining. I'm sure that there's some really fun and
Mhm.
unique places to dine there as well.
There's a lot of great places in downtown. We've put in some dining platforms that happened a couple years ago, and they're just a great spot that you can be outside when the weather is ideal, like it is right now, and you can eat. We have the Tallgrass Tap House, we have the chef. We have wine dive. There's just some neat places that are locally owned. You'll get that food that is created here, as well as beverages. So we also have Manhattan Brewing Company that's in downtown, and so it's great to be outside. And then when it's not so nice out, you certainly can be inside and enjoy that food as well.
And part of being inside, of course, is the shopping, which I know there has
Yes.
to be a lot of like cute boutique shops there.
There are a lot of cute boutique shops along Points Avenue, and so there's the boutique itself, and then there's Gatherings 315, Winged Lion, the Pathfinder. There's so many places, as well as those places in the Manhattan Town Center Mall, which is right at the anchor of downtown. Plus, we have the farmers market. If you ever come over on a Saturday morning, there's a great farmers market that you can get fresh produce and art things and just walk around and enjoy being outside on a Saturday morning when it's beautiful out.
Oh, that sounds so much fun. And on top of farmers market, festivals in general, I know there's a whole list of festivals that happen in Manhattan.
There are a lot of festivals coming up. One of the ones we're most excited about that's coming soon is our Hot Air Balloon Festival. This will be the second year for it, and last year it rained, and
Oh,
so they were only able to do the glowing. But we're excited this year that that'll happen early November, the 6th through the 9th, and there'll be 18 to 22 balloons around town that will be glowing on Friday night. Plus, then there will be rides that can either be tethered rides or actual rides. And so we're looking forward to that festival. We're also looking forward to our tree lighting ceremony with the Festival of Lights. That'll happen for the holidays. And that tree lighting ceremony happens the Friday after Thanksgiving. So, between football and farmers markets, and we have some art events, there is always something happening in Manhattan.
I want to dig into the Hot Balloon Festival. That's a hot air balloon, not hot balloon festival, hot air balloon festival. That sounds amazing because usually when you think of hot air balloon festivals, you have to go to places like New Mexico, but this is happening right in our backyard in Manhattan, Kansas.
Yes. Yes, this is happening right here. And so, as I mentioned, there'll be 18 to 22 balloons that come into town for that weekend. And there'll be spots all over town that it's incredible to watch them lift off or have that balloon tethered on Friday night when it's dusk out and it's just starting to get dark. And then to watch it glow. And they're creative balloons. I mean, they're not just the plain balloons, they've got a lot of personality, if you can say that about a balloon, but it's got a lot of personality. And so those things will happen around town on Friday night, and then at the Northeast Park on Saturday morning, they'll actually have the liftoff of the balloons. And so there are people that have that you can sign up to get a ride, or you can just watch and experience the balloons taking off. And then Saturday night they come back for a festival feel back in that Northeast Park when the balloons will glow again. And then Sunday morning they also have another opportunity to get a ride in a hot air balloon right here in Manhattan, Kansas.
That is so neat. Now, is that an event that draws a big crowd that people should be prepared for? I imagine it
It
does.
does. It does. Like I said, this will be the second year, and so even last year when we had the glowing of the balloons, there was hundreds of people around each of those. I think we had 8 locations last year, and I
Wow.
believe they're expecting 8 to 10 locations this year on that Friday night for the glow. So a lot of times you can get up and get real personal with the balloon captain, because last year when it was at Blue Earth Plaza right here in our downtown, that balloon operator, let you come up, you can see the basket, you can hear the balloon, you can take pictures with it. It's really interactive for the public. And then that Saturday morning at Northeast Park, certainly plan to come early, stay for the music, and then they'll have food trucks, and you'll get to see the balloons launch, and then you'll get to see them glow again. And so it'll be a great. Parking was always a challenge, so just keep that in mind. But as with anything, when you're just patient and you enjoy the festival itself, just wait for the crowds to dissipate, and then that's when you can head home.
Oh, that sounds so cool. I definitely want to get out there for that. I was reading because Manhattan has so many unique events, and one of the ones that caught my eye because my husband is a huge car buff, and that is the Midwest Dream Car Collection. And that's just one of many unique events in Manhattan.
Yeah, and that's actually a permanent attraction here in Manhattan. You can go to the Midwest Dream Car Collection throughout the week and throughout the year. They do have a lot of events that are for car people, enthusiasts. They'll have a coffee and car under the hood kind of talk. There's a couple of docents that are there that are so knowledgeable. They have over 65 cars that are there on that you can view. There's actually one that you can actually sit in. It was
Wow.
a gentleman who donated it to the museum after he passed away because he just wanted to make sure that kids knew what it felt like to get into an antique car and be able to touch things.
That's so neat. And that's so important because cars these days are so different than what they were before.
Mhm.
One of the things about Manhattan too is that it kind of sits right at the beginning of the Flint Hills. And that's where I want to dig into the outdoor life opportunities there. It's a great place to go to kind of get out into the great outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely. The Flint Hills are very beautiful, and it's great to experience them. And so there's a couple places here in town. One I will say is go to the Flint Hills Discovery Center first, so that you learn all about what the Flint Hills are all about and the ecology and the biology of the Flint Hills, why they're even called the Flint Hills, how you can experience them, the beauty of them, the seasons of the Flint Hills, and then to get out in them, there's the Kanza hiking trail out at the Kanza Biological Station. Now, it's a research station, so you can't take your dog there.
Hmm.
They do burning experiments and they get weather experiments out there. So, but there's hiking trails, and you can go out. There's 2, 4, and 6 mile hiking trails that are just gorgeous to walk in. I will tell you, the Flint Hills. There's some height to those hills, so you get a good workout.
Oh, I didn't know that. So there's some elevation there. So then what do people need to know before they head out there? I mean, they can bring their dogs out there, right? Other than
Not
the
at Kanza
research.
Prairie.
Oh, not at
Right.
Kanza
Yeah.
Prairie. Okay. But
Not at Kanza Prairie. But in other places in town, we certainly have the Top of the World, or we have Tuttle Creek State Park, where you can have your dog with you and you can hike the trails that are out there and the beauty of the Flint Hills. And so, just to see the different seasons of the Flint Hills, we talk about the fact that in the springtime they're burning the Flint Hills and it's black, but then within days of the burning, there's green grass coming up. That grass will grow with a good weather season of moisture. They'll grow 8 feet tall with the tall
wow.
grass. And so right now we've had some great rain this summer, and so some of that grass is getting, over my head. And so you can walk among that grass and experience it, what it's like, because this is the last 4% of the tall grass prairie left in the United States, and they're right here in the Flint Hills. So to get out and experience is the best way to do that here in Manhattan.
And it's also a true, I think, slice of the Midwest when you think about prairie land. I mean, that is true prairie land out there.
It is, absolutely. And we have a prairie-based river here too that runs right through Manhattan with the Kansas River, also affectionately known as the Kaw River. And so with that prairie-based river, the water is not crystal clear like you would have in Colorado, but it is definitely Kansas good quality water. And so having the Kansas River right here, you can get out and paddle on it. You can also go out to Tuttle Creek State Park where there's lots of paddling. You can rent stand-up boards if you've ever tried to stand up on a paddling board. That you can use that in the river pond area, and so it's a fun activity to get out in the outdoors in Manhattan.
Can you do tubing out there too?
You can, absolutely, on the lake. There's a lake above the dam that you can have ski boats, and a lot of people water ski and do tubing. And so yeah, it's a busy lake a lot of times of the year.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. I always love to see the video of people tubing down the river. It just looks so serene.
Yeah.
Okay. So it just, I mean, from, K-State to the shopping downtown, museums, art galleries, and outdoor stuff, it just sounds like there is something for everyone out there in Manhattan.
There is something for everyone in all ages and multiple ages. We love it when families come together with extended family and come and experience the different attractions that we have and the places they can go. There's lots of gathering spots all over town for families and if you're just all solo traveling, it's great to come out and explore. And there's something for everyone, regardless of the time of year. There's something to do year round. Certainly, we have the 4 full seasons that happen, and yeah, it's a great place to explore. There's tons to do. We have a great website where you can get on and see all about the calendar of events that we have as well, so that you can, when you're planning your trip, you know what there is going on.
And so you kind of touched on it, is that there's something going around year round. So I always ask this question, which I know it's the hardest question. If you had to pick, what are some of the best times of year to visit Manhattan?
Oh, I don't know if I can pick. I just can't, because I think personally, I love the change of seasons. And so we do experience it all. I mean, we're headed out of summertime. I think we're out of the 100-degree temperatures, which is a relief for those of us that don't like 100-degree plus weather.
Right.
And so, but during the summertime, I love to be out on the water, and so it's a great time to cool off in the water for the summertime. And then heading into fall, certainly with the students coming back into town and all that happens up at K-State. I mean, we feel that ebb and flow of the university that's here, and so that's a fun time. I love putting on a sweatshirt and walking around. I mean, and then wintertime, man, to put on your boots and to go walk in the snow when we have it's great. And then we head into springtime.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And that what you just said, football season is just so much fun. So if someone were to plan a visit to Manhattan, how long should they plan for?
We think days. You can fill days, but if you only have a day, you can also come and spend a lot of time in the area that passionate for you. If you're into art, if you're into animals, if you're into exploring, there's tons to do. You could easily fill time. Certainly, we've also got golf courses that you can play out at Colbert Hills. I mean, I could go on and on about all the activities that you can fill for a weekend or a couple of days here in Manhattan, Kansas.
Well, certainly it sounds like a place that you can come back to again and again. And especially at the beginning of the Flint Hills there, you can kind of make a
Yes.
trip of that whole region.
Absolutely. You can start off here and learn about the Flint Hills at the Discovery Center. The immersive theater is amazing. It's kind of a 4D video, because you not only watch the film and you hear the film, but you also feel the film, because they have other things that happen in the theater while you're watching that show. And so you learn all about the Flint Hills, and then that really does excites you to get out and experience the Flint Hills. And so there's so many places just very locally around here that it's easy to go experience and do.
Oh, I love it. And lastly, where should people stay? What are some of the places that they should look into for stays?
Well, we've got 13 great hotels that are here, that each one has its own kind of little perspective, and that you can experience. If you're wanting to be in Aggieville, we've got a couple of hotels in Aggieville that you can be around. If you want to be a little further out west, we've got a couple on that side of town. But then there's some Airbnbs that are very cool and different and unique. And we also have cabins out at the state park that you can rent.
Oh, that sounds so amazing. Marcia, I really want to thank you for joining me today on this episode of Destination Heartland. I can't wait to get out there and explore Manhattan for sure.
Please come.
All right. Thank you so much. Boy, doesn't Manhattan sound so much fun? Well, that does it for this episode of Destination Heartland. And remember, we explore a new location every week. A new episode drops every Tuesday, and you can find it on KCTV5 Plus, which is on your Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV device. But that's it for now. Until our next episode, I'm Sharon Chen for KCTV5.